Welcome to Science Lab. The signs are happening because Jesus is coming. Every day, we are looking at some of the signs that are happening around us. In this episode, we are going to see about the strange things that are happening in the sky.
Have you ever thought about how entire galaxies die? When the cold gas from which new stars are formed ceases to flow from intergalactic space, most galaxies cease to exist. However, some of them don't die completely but are transformed into a so-called stellar stream. These are an association of stars that rotate in a continuous vortex around the center of other galaxies. In the Milky Way, about 24 such star groupings were found.
Now imagine how something with the mass of 1,000,000 suns punches a giant hole in one of these streams, dragging along a few dozen stars. Sounds pretty scary, but the worst thing is that such an event has already happened on the outskirts of the Milky Way. What is this mysterious object and what threatens us with the giant hole in our galaxy?
In the spring of 2019, Anna Bonacca, a researcher at the Harvard and Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, observed one of the star streams. She expected to see a continuous line of luminous points, but how surprised she was when right in the middle of the GD1 stellar flow, the telescope revealed a gigantic gap. The incredible huge hole had jagged edges as if space had been pierced by a fantastically large bullet. The size of the object that violated the integrity of our universe is frightening indeed. According to astronomers, it was 1,000,000 times heavier than the Sun.
Anna Bonacca could not keep silent about such a shocking discovery. So on April 15, 2019, she presented her observations at a conference of the American Physical Society in Denver. From this point on, the debate continues among the scientific community. The best minds of mankind are trying to find the answer to the question, what exactly could punch such an incredibly huge hole in our universe? The first option that came to mind is a giant, monstrously huge star with a tremendously large mass. Perhaps it just went astray and flew through the side of the galaxy. According to Anna, this theory could be viable, if not for the huge size of the gap itself. A star that is able to pierce such a frightening large hole should have an absolutely unbelievable diameter, and scientists have never observed stars of this scale. Indeed, it should also have an enormous gravity. According to astrophysicists, this incredible something broke into GD1 and then dragged many more large and small stars behind it in its wake. Therefore, for researchers, this assumption didn't make sense. Of all the objects known to scientists, only black holes have a similar mass. This explanation seemed more plausible to the researchers. The only problem was that usually in the center of galaxies, there's only one big black hole, and we already have one. On the other hand, there's still so much we don't know about the universe. Perhaps the gap in the GD1 stellar stream is evidence of an anomaly. Anna Bonacca with her colleagues discovered a second massive black hole in our galaxy. Astrophysicists deny that this is possible, but Anna Bonacca disputes this theory. The fact is that around a black hole there is a cloud emitting flashes and very powerful radiation. The scientists who observed the stellar stream of GD1 should have detected this, but Bonacca and her colleagues did not find any signs of radiation near the gap. Moreover, in April 2019, astrophysicists first took a picture of black holes which had nothing in common with what Bonacca saw in GD1. This means that a supermassive black hole being the cause here is out of question. Perhaps this hole was formed after the invasion of a giant unknown object from outside the universe. Such an assumption seems too crazy to be true, but Anna Bonacca put forward an even more insane theory. In her opinion, this object is a huge clot of dark matter. For many years, scientists have unsuccessfully tried to find evidence of its existence. And if the theory that it was a dark matter which violated the integrity of GD1 is confirmed, it will be one of the most significant scientific discoveries over the past decade. However, the problem is that we still don't understand exactly what dark matter is. The only thing the scientists agree on is the fact that the part of the universe visible to us, including all the planets, stars, and galaxies, there is more than 5% of its total mass. Everything else consists of dark matter and dark energy. Dark energy is a kind of anti-gravity. Thanks to dark energy, according to scientists, our universe keeps expanding. Unfortunately, there's no direct confirmation of this hypothesis. After all, dark energy cannot be seen. Besides its hypothetical influence on the size of the universe, it leaves no trace behind, unlike dark matter, which gave people more reason to believe in its existence.
According to one theory, dark matter consists of exotic particles. They are invisible to light, so scientists can't detect them. The only argument in support of existence of dark matter is its influence on stars. According to Newton's law, due to weak gravity, objects at the edge of a galaxy should move much slower than at its center. But in observation, the speed of the stars on the outskirts of galaxies is much faster.
Scientists suggest that the reason for this is just dark matter, or more precisely, its gravity. It helps distant stars move faster than central ones without breaking the law of physics. It's this powerful gravity that could cause a break in the GD1 stream. Of course, that's if dark matter exists at all. After all, some scientists consider it no more than just fiction.
Physicist Yuri Smirnov from the University of Southern Denmark found another explanation for the high velocity of stars on the outskirts of galaxies. The researchers suggested that every dense and compact object, including the black hole in the center of our galaxy, has an invisible sphere or bubble around it. Inside this bubble, all the stars and planets interact with the central object, according to the classic law of aggression. However, these objects that are outside this invisible sphere are exposed to a stronger gravitational effect of the central object. To understand more clearly on how this works, imagine two weights with the same mass, one immersed in water and the other just getting ready to fall into the water. The falling weight will move much faster, although it is farther from the bottom. That's why the stars on the outskirts of the galaxy are moving with greater speed than in the center, and the dark matter has absolutely nothing to do with it. Unless, of course, as you believe the Danish physicists, they do not want to be without evidence. So, in the near future, they're going to test their theory. The scientists plan to aim a beam of light at one of the galaxies. If their assumptions are correct, the beam will not pass through the galaxy, but will break due to a surrounding bubble. In this case, the theory of dark matter would finally be refuted. But for a giant hole on the outskirts of the galaxy, then there simply must be no other explanation left. The riddles and secrets surrounding this mystery will only increase even more. Nevertheless, Anna Bonacca and her colleagues are inclined to believe that the gap discovered is still a clot of dark matter, although we have no direct evidence of this theory. Just as we see no evidence to the contrary so far, and the most important question, what kind of threat this is to our galaxy, remains open.
And now, it's time for the trivial question of the day. What is the brightest star in the universe?
The three options are option A, the Sun, option B, the Moon, or option C, Arcturus.
And let's find the answer after a short break. Welcome back to Science Lab. The signs are happening because Jesus is coming. Before the break, I asked you the trivial question of the day. What is the brightest star in the universe?
The three options were option A, the sun, option B, the moon, or option C, Arcturus.
And the right answer is option C, Arcturus. Imagine the most powerful blinding light that you could ever see, not counting the sun though. For sure, there are brighter stars in the universe. Think for example, Sirius, which is about 25 times brighter than our sun. Arcturus is 170 times more illuminating than our sun. If we were to combine the brightness of all these stars together, it would not even be 1/100 of the brightness of the star you will soon be looking at.
It might seem to you that this is nothing more than a plain black screen. Right in front of you is one of the brightest stars in the universe. But what's more interesting about it is that you can't see the radiation of its light, at least not in the usual way you would expect. You're about to learn what is unique about this space object.
It all began in April 2019 when researchers from the University of Bonn in Germany and the Russian Academy of Sciences observed the constellation Cassiopeia, located 10,000 light years from Earth. In the very center of the gas and dust cloud, the devices recorded infrared radiation invisible to the human eye emanating from a star. It turned out to be 40,000 times brighter than our sun. However, scientists are more impressed by something else. They were struck by the speed with which the stellar matter is emitted into the space by the star. The matter was recorded moving at an insane 9,950 miles or 16,000 kilometers per second, which is 8 times faster than the hottest stars in the universe. The temperature of the detected star reached as high as 360,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 200,000 Celsius, which is about 36 times more than on the surface of our sun. Such hellish heat is usually only possible due to thermonuclear reactions caused by the burning of hydrogen and helium. This is what makes it possible to observe the bright visible light of stars. Only in this case there was not either hydrogen, nor helium, nor visible light. Simply put, astronomers saw for the first time in history smoke without fire. When a star radiates a huge amount of heat, well, it has absolutely nothing to burn. It's like having millions of views on YouTube channel without posting a single video. It sounds absurd, but in this case, that's the way it is. At first, scientists didn't believe their eyes. Such an amazing discovery turned our whole understanding of space on its head for a moment. However, the researchers soon found the answer and stated that this mysterious object is the result of merging two white dwarfs, that is, extinct stars. Most of the time, such collision ends in a powerful explosion, which astronomers call a supernova. Although this is all in theory, no one has yet been able to confirm these assumptions since no one has witnessed the collision of two white dwarfs.
As we see here, in practice, everything turned out to be quite different. Instead of the expected explosion, the dead star simply merged into the large star. The mass obtained by the object was large enough for the star to light up again. But since all the fuel in the form of hydrogen and helium had been consumed, other heavier elements that make up the star's core were used. According to scientists, there are no more than 6 such resurrected stars in the entire universe, and for the first time in history, we were lucky to catch one of them.
Scientists gave this object the name J005311 as well as the title of Unique Zombie Star. If you could see in the infrared, you would see such an amazing picture. The scientists have proven that life after death does exist, at least on a stellar scale. This truth won't last for very long, indeed very soon. J005311 will turn into a tiny dot and then explode, scattering stellar matter all over the galaxy. The likelihood that we'll be able to see something like this again is very, very small.
However, other types of dead stars collide a little more often, up to 10 times in a billion years. We're talking about neutron stars. These small points with a huge mass and density, when approaching each other, spin in a spiral motion and accelerate to 1/3 the speed of light. Then the neutron stars merge as they become even more dense under the pressure of their own gravity. They compress so tightly that they turn into a black hole or into another larger neutron star, which within a few milliseconds also become a black hole. Unfortunately, we could only observe such a cosmic miracle indirectly through the detection of so-called gravitational waves. These are oscillations in space-time itself caused by the collision of stars. As far back as 100 years ago, Albert Einstein announced the existence of such oscillations, but only in 2015 were scientists able to test his claim in practice when they caught gravitational waves resulting from the collision of two black holes. 2 years later, for the first time in history, they managed to detect the collision of two neutron stars in a similar way. Such a significant event occurred at a distance of 130 million light years from Earth. Unfortunately, astrophysicists could not see such a space masterpiece with their own eyes. Since they only discovered the collision after detecting the gravitational waves, a similar magnificent spectacle appeared not far from our planet 4.6 billion years ago. 100 million years before the formation of the Earth, at a distance of about 1,000 light years from our solar system, a powerful collision of neutron stars occurred, which affected our planet more than you might think. After all, it was thanks to this event the most precious metals such as gold and platinum appeared on Earth as a result of chemical reaction that occurred during the collision of stars. The meeting of the two neutron stars led to changes in the dust cloud of our young solar system and made a huge contribution to the composition of elements on our planet. That distant explosion created all of the conditions for the formation of complex chemicals. About 0.3% of the heavy elements on Earth originated from this event alone. Moreover, in each of us, there remains a trace of this collision. For example, iodine, which is present in the human body. These conclusions were drawn by Imre Bartos from the University of Florida and Mark Sabols from the Columbia University. These scientists examined the composition of meteorites which were rich in radioactive isotopes. After examining a period of their decay, the researchers found out exactly which chemical element were the result of a collision of neutron stars, whose explosive wave that swept across the entire solar system. So you can learn some very unexpected things from the meteorites here on Earth. In one such instance, scientists discovered a substance that completely changed the way they think about the origin of the solar system. As you've seen today, the processes occurring at the galactic level are fundamentally different from what's happening on the terrestrial scale. The collision of objects on Earth almost always leads to destruction. But when it comes to stars, unusual space objects are born, and simple chemical elements are transformed into more complex ones. In short, the same phenomena at different levels leads to different results.
Never before in the history of the humankind we are discovering the depths of the universe, and we are about to understand the universe as a whole. Why are there strange things happening all around the world? The Lord Jesus Christ listed out all the signs that will happen before His coming, and one of them is there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven, as we read in Luke chapter 21 verses 10 and 11. The Lord Jesus Christ not only said fearful sights will appear, but great signs from the heavens.
What is foretold in the Bible is happening again in our lifetime. This shows that we are living in the last days. Lord Jesus Christ is coming again very soon. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to tune into the Science Lab next time.
Send us your photos, videos, news, and YouTube links which are worth sharing, and also send us your feedbacks to our email address sciencelab@angeltv.org. If you have missed any of the episodes, don't worry, you can watch it again and again on the Science Lab YouTube page. But don't forget to like, share and comment on the video as well.
Ask your friends and relatives to watch the Science Lab so that they will know that we are living in the last days. Remember, signs are happening because Lord Jesus is coming.
Maranatha.